Hi, it's G from Native Speakers Academy. And one of the topics that has come up in work-related conversations recently has been, are there any foolproof strategies for problem solving? And after a lot of head scratching, I think I can safely say no. There are no foolproof strategies. But there are avenues of possibility. There are methods that we can explore that open doors, that allow for an exchange of ideas, and that can often help us to avoid conflicts, whether they're conflicts in the workplace, conflicts at home, conflicts anywhere. Just get past these cyclists, right? So, I'm going to give you 3 ways. Now, there must be really and truly about 3,000 ways. But everybody has to start somewhere, so I'm going to give you a starting point, not an end point, because it's up to you where you go and what you do. But let me give you strategies. So, the first strategy is called Did You Ask? Strategy number 1. Did you ask? Too many times I hear people say, well, nobody told me, as if doing nothing somehow absolves you of any kind of responsibility of collective problems. If you take a step back to the edge of the situation when you should be motivated and highly involved, then that's really not going to help. So, my response to this is just, did you ask? Did you inquire? Did you quest? Did you ask a question? Did you explore all the possibilities? Did you share what you knew? Did you ask people what they thought? Did you garner opinions and gather ideas? Did you? Did you ask? Did you take the trouble and make the effort to find out? Because if you didn't, you can't complain. If you're not actively trying to avoid problems, if you're not actively finding solutions, you become part of the problem itself. All it takes for the world to decay is if good men do nothing. They stand back and they watch it burn. It is necessary to be proactive. So, strategy 1 is, did you ask? Strategy 2, listening. Listening is learning. Let's call strategy 2, tell me more. Strategy 2, tell me more. Because listening is learning. People will come to you with ideas, with thoughts that maybe you don't fully understand. We all see the same picture in a slightly different light. We all remember the same conversation in different ways. We all recall different parts of the films. Sometimes we even have errors in our recall, in our memory. And so, the strategy of tell me more is a strategy that allows you time to think and time to understand. And what it does is it tells the other person in the situation, I care. Because it has to be real. You can't just say it. You've got to mean it when you do it. If you're not fully involved in everything that you do, well, then your actions are pretty pointless. So, tell me more is an opportunity to further explore ideas, to clarify, to ensure that you understand clearly and correctly. An opportunity to listen and repeat. So if I understand what you're saying is this. Is that correct? Right. Be clear. Have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed at least as much as possible in the situation. And give opportunities for explanation. So, that was our second strategy. Our third strategy is an attempt to remove the fog of the conversation, to see clearly through the mists when the clouds have descended. A lot of people will talk for longer periods of time, and although they use words and they may be quite animated in their use, by the time they get to the end, maybe you've forgotten what the start was, you're not sure what the middle was, and you're really not sure what a person is getting at. And you're not sure where it fits in to the debate. You're not sure where the information exactly goes. And so the third strategy is, I don't know what you mean. Or, I don't know what that means. Let's not make it personal. I don't know what that means. Because we all have different perspectives, and it's necessary to make sure that we've got everything clear in our heads. So if you're saying, I don't know what that means, you're not rejecting what the person has said, but giving it an honest response. You just don't see how the puzzle pieces fit together. And I wouldn't finish it there. I would say, could you give me an example? Let's be empirical rather than abstract. Let's look at a clear situation where this happened and try to analyze it a little bit and remove this, as I said, fog and mist from the situation. So if you use these three strategies, did you ask, tell me more, and then I don't know, or I'm not quite sure what that means, then there's an opportunity still for resolution. And a final point is to not accept the principle of I don't know. I think everyone has an idea about what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen. If you don't have an idea about that, then you shouldn't even be involved in any process or any situation that you're in. It's necessary to be thinking about the past because the biggest single predictor of future action is relevant past action. So don't accept any principles such as I don't know. Always explore further how a person, if they don't have facts, at least feels about the situation. You want to get to facts if you can, but if you can't, feelings will edge you a little bit closer than nothing at all. Very often people are afraid to give their opinion. They're afraid to speak their mind. And so this might shine a little bit of light onto the topic and the situation. And these are ways that I have used in my work to try to resolve some problems. Some have worked fantastically. Others have led me down roads that I didn't expect. So there are many other strategies. You can let me know what works for you in this kind of situation. The art of conversation, the art of debate, the art of persuasion it's a bit like war sometimes. So we have to be careful with these words that we don't hurt anyone. That was it. Slow, but there you go. Let me know what you think.